Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Ironman 2 Hyperion, where I'm going to be trying to unlock a Hyperion on an Ironman profile. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be making some upgrades, and once again, as per usual, we're going to be making our best efforts towards unlocking the Floor 7 boss fight. Now, today's episode is probably going to be a little bit not as long, and the reasoning for that is because I had to sleep, considering the fact that in my previous episode, I stated I'd been awake for about 42 hours straight, so most of today was spent, trying to recover from my absolutely horrible sleep schedule. So yeah, now I would be giving away a rank in this video, and I am giving away a rank. The only reason I can't show the footage on screen right now, I'll show at the end of the video. I'm currently having like 15 billion ping on Hypixel. I literally can't leave the duels lobby, so I always record it at the end of the video to give everybody the maximum chance of winning, but unfortunately I can't show it, so I'm going to be giving away 2 ranks in the next video. One from this video, one from the one before. So obviously comment down below if you're not subscribed, then you can't win. I can see if you're subscribed, it's next to your name. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to be doing a few things in this episode to make our way towards the Floor 7 boss fight, upgrading some pets, getting some armor upgrades, and all the kind of thing you're going to see in the video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, so today we got some big things happening. Today we're going to be working on trying to unlock some hot potato books and some, obviously enchanted baked potatoes, so that we can see the effect it has on my armor to see if it's really going to be increasing the amount of health I have. And then at the end of the episode, we're going to take all the upgrades, including some equipment pieces, including some obviously like the hot potato books, and a few other things, including some livered fragments and a new weapon. That is the main thing about this video, is we're going to be unlocking a brand new weapon, which is going to be increasing our damage and increasing our dungeon run ability by a drastic amount. So yeah, at the end of the episode, we're going to try a Floor 7 run and see if we are able to complete it. If we are not, then obviously we need to do more progress, but if we are, then we can begin the runs for the handle. So stick around for this episode to try and see what happens, and without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to be starting where we left off yesterday, where basically I was just grinding up livid fragments and stuff. Now, this was recorded very, very early in the morning, basically immediately after I'd uploaded the previous video, because I had the plan of staying up basically all night and waiting for the Oringo event to happen. Now, please keep in mind that at this time, I had been awake for around about, I want to say 38 hours probably, and if I wanted to stay up for a Ringo, I would have had to stay up for probably about almost 2 days straight, because I don't even know, I probably would have stayed up an additional day to try and like fix my sleep schedule, so it would have been horrible for my health, and unfortunately, I was not able to stay awake for the Oringo event. So yeah, I'm hoping there wasn't any good tiger pets, because that would be really unfortunate. But even if we can't get a tiger pet, I can obviously always get a wither skeleton pet, which is it's pretty good for Floor 7 as well in terms of survivability and stuff. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of chilling, and there's also going to be a decently timed traveling zoo, probably around about like 10 p.m. in like 2 days. So there's always there's always future opportunities for me to get a tiger pet, but if I die from not sleeping for 2 days straight, then we're probably not going to be as fortunate. So yeah, if we come in here, traveling zoo at 9 p.m, perfect timing for me. So yeah, that is probably going to be the healthier option, because I want to continue making these videos, and if I don't sleep, then I'm probably just going to eventually have burnout, and that is going to be a very big problem for the series. So yeah, I'm going to continue doing these runs, and let's just see what we're going to do. Okay, Hypixel seems to be dying right now. Yeah, if we look into my friends list, literally every single person is logged off in the entire network. So yeah, Hypixel's been having some major internet issues, and it's like, I'm glad to see that it's not just me lagging, because I really didn't want to have to like go to Telstra and try and fix my internet. So as long as I can blame it on Hypixel, I'm happy with that. And as you can see there, we finally got 9 ancient roses, which means we can craft up the flower of truth. Now I want to compare it to obviously my giant cleaver. However, I think it's pretty obvious the giant cleaver is going to be better. So yeah, I mean, it is just more of like a clearing item, it's just like an item, like a secondary weapon, pretty much replacing where a bow would be. So yeah, it's going to be a nice item to have and just like throw it across the room and stuff, but it's definitely not meant to be a main weapon for clearing, because I mean, even just like the ability of the giant cleaver is instinctively better for clearing out rooms. Okay, so here we are. We now have the Flower of Truth and the Giant Cleaver in the dungeon, and we're going to compare them. Now, obviously, we have to keep in mind the Flower of Truth only has 1 star, but if we go there, 60,000 damage, and if we grab our Flower of Truth, it's about, okay, well, that didn't work. Yeah, so 600,000 damage versus, wait, 600, hold up. There's no way, I'm just saying, looking at the stats, there's genuinely no way that these are like the same. So 600,000. Okay, that's better. I think I was hitting like a scared skeleton and like an undead skeleton, which have different defense stats. But yeah, so it's around about like 50% better, the giant cleaver. So I mean, technically, there might be a little bit of an influence in terms of the starring and in terms of the recombobulator, but I mean, the ability alone just makes it better. And the heat-seeking like missiles, they're used for different uses. You know what I mean? Okay, so now outside of dungeons where the, starring has a little bit less of a usage, and as you can see there, it's still like 50% better, 25,000 damage versus 36,000 damage. And yeah, I mean, I feel like while I'm here, let's just test these things out, I realized that I was actually getting a decent amount of poisonous potatoes, which is needed for the vaccine talisman, and I conveniently have the Arachne's Fang, which I can use to upgrade the talisman, so I figured why not just grind out the, like, poisonous potatoes while I'm here, and hopefully try and get some talisman to increase that magic power, which is absolutely god-awful. Okay, so I forgot that I had to unlock the vaccine talisman. Wasn't very difficult, but there we go. A common talisman, which isn't horrible, but now if I come in here, I should be able to grab my Arachne's Fangs, and I should be able to sell the potatoes to make a little bit of inventory space, but I feel like the Arachne's Fang these are one of the problems that I learnt about an Ironman profile, is there are a lot of items in the game that have one singular use. For example, the Arachne Fangs have one use of making this talisman, and they have no other use in the entire game. So, as you can see there, I have a spare one, which is going to be useful for nothing except selling for 500 coins each, because, I mean, it's just like, they add items that don't have multiple uses, and it just ends up creating, like, item like inflation. Like, as you can see there is not a single other recipe. Now, I'm not saying, oh, there should be like 1,000 recipes, but if you're playing on an Ironman and you drop a second like core, or you drop a second overflux like capacitator, there is nothing, like, there's things you can do with it, but like nothing useful, because you already have the items. So it would be cool to see the RNG items and stuff be used in different recipes or something, or at least given a slightly different use, because on an Ironman profile it just becomes completely worthless. And I understand that Ironman profiles are invented like this, but it's just not a generally good idea for the game, because what is the point of having an overflux like item if it's just like you just add other, like, it's basically just like you drop a recipe for an item, like for example the core, and then all the other items are just additional money. So they might as well make it you just have to pay some other player like 100 mil to make your Terminator, because the other items don't really have a use other than inconveniencing like Ironman players. So yeah, maybe that's a bad take, but it's just something I've learned from the Ironman profile, and maybe I'm turning into the Ironman players I hate. People have asked me why I don't like Ironman players, and it's because they always complain about things like this that only affect Ironman players, while they willingly made the profile knowing this was going to happen. So yeah, maybe I'm just like turning into an Ironman player, but this does seem like a pretty big problem. Okay, so now that I have these few boosts, I want to try running a floor 7, just like a casual like blood rush, just to see what my survivability is looking like, and whether I should go into things like maybe like getting hot potato books and getting better enchantments, and obviously the better reforge which comes with mining, but we don't really talk about that right now. So yeah, I'm gonna try running through here, and let's just see how it goes, because if I can blood rush and if I can survive pretty decently in the boss fight, then I probably could be ready to start doing some runs. And the only reason I would really do runs right now is to try and get myself like wither boots or something, so that I can get those like small upgrades. But yeah, so as you can see here, I mean, I just like kind of soloed that like Lost Adventurer pretty decent. I mean, it didn't have that much health, but it's not bad. Now if I go through this room, we're looking pretty decent. I mean, okay, well, look, it was a stormy, starry, runic skeleton master that killed me, but I think the problem is me getting hit by a bunch of damage. Like, I deal decent damage, but sometimes my like effective health points, I just can't heal fast enough. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to talk to a certain person who's been harassing me on my island for a while. I'm going to have to unlock the garden and begin mining up fuming hot potato books, because, I mean, I just need it. Like, the boost that you get from a hot potato book is going to be hopefully decently significant, and significant enough that it's going to be worth the time, because I put it into the calculator, and I'm assuming I should be making probably 10 to 15 hot potato books per hour, which means all it's going to take is like 3 or 4 hours of farming, which is honestly not that long, and I should be able to hot potato book my entire setup, which is going to be a massive boost. So yeah, let me come over to the farm and check if my math is correct or anything, and even if it's not, still like a few hot potato books here and there should be a pretty nice upgrade, especially if I'm only like a few health points away from surviving in a floor 7, or if I need a little bit of a boost in damage. So yeah, we might as well knock the garden at some point, because we're gonna have to do it eventually. Okay guys, so it is time to now clear out the plot. Yeah, thanks for the scythe. And I figured, perfect opportunity for a Modcraft story time, where today we're going to be talking about what is going to happen in terms of the floor 7 runs. So I have two ideas. First of all, I want to get a decent amount of runs done in Party Finder, just to prove that I can do it myself, so that nobody says like, OMG, he's getting carried to a Hyperion, you know? Not that I really care, but just for the sake of doing it for like my own sanity. So after that, I'm thinking of possibly doing a subathon. So basically you guys, use like Twitch subs or YouTube members, and for example, every single sub I do like 2 runs or something. So yeah, obviously we'd have to figure out a amount that you guys are willing to pay versus an amount that I'm willing to do, because obviously like it gets to a point where you guys could make me basically just do floor 7 runs forever, because you guys would be making more money than I could be like, doing floor runs. So obviously I need to save myself from being trapped, but I also can't make it every run is $1 billion, because obviously that wouldn't work out. So yeah, I'm gonna check out some other streamers and what they did. Obviously I do have to fix my internet first, but basically if I can, I have an idea. I want to try connecting it to an Ethernet cord, because I feel like partially the reason my internet is so bad is because I'm like really far away from the Wi-Fi router. Like I know that's how it works. So yeah, I'm thinking maybe I move closer, I like figure out a room where it works, and I get the Ethernet cord connected. Worst case, I get like 20 meters of Ethernet cord to go all the way up to my room. And however we get it figured out, I want to do some streaming, because basically all I do is play Skyblock and talk about it. So if I could stream and make videos at the same time, because that's all my content is, that's just like 2 for 1, that is even better. So yeah, if you guys are down to have me stream, please let me know in the comments, because if I could do it, I'd be down for it. But unfortunately, my internet would make it an unbearable experience, and obviously we don't want that. So yeah, I'm going to work on that end. You guys figure out if you want to watch me stream, and we can convene at a time that is convenient for both parties. Okay, so you guys remember, now I'm just doing my garden leveling up, but you guys remember the NPC trade, right, with Jerry, where he asked for the 5 bread that you trade to Sam? Why is Jerry asking me for 31 enchanted potatoes? I feel like this is a little bit of a bug. I feel like this is not what is meant to happen, so yeah. I'm going to think about doing the trade, obviously, because I want the copper, because I can spend the copper on buying a hoe that has replenish on it, which would obviously be very nice, because then I don't have to replant the entire area every time I want to redo my potatoes. So yeah, I'm going to go out here, we're going to unlock the potatoes, and then we're going to see at what rate we are getting the enchanted baked potatoes, and see just like how many, hot potato books we are making per hour. And then we're going to check how effective the hot potato books are when we put them on my armor, on my weapons, and all that kind of thing. Okay, so as you guys can see, I currently have 2 enchanted baked potatoes, but one of these came from this locust. Now, that is a 3% drop chance. I do have 100 farming fortune, so realistically, it is like a 6% chance, but 6% chance, that is still very, very lucky, especially considering it is the exact item that I needed. So yeah, very, very fortunate. Hopefully this isn't going to take away from my like RNG when it comes to getting a Necron's handle, because that would be very, very unfortunate. I now have 4 enchanted baked potatoes. Unfortunately, I was watching a video and I wasn't really doing it at max efficiency, so I didn't time how long it was taking. But yeah, I'm going to grab some, paper, make myself the enchanted hot potato books or whatever, and then we're going to try and apply them to my items to see how helpful they are. Now, you might be thinking, Modcraft, it literally says in the item, it gives 2 defense and 4 strength and whatever, but, and 4 health and 2 defense and 2 strength or 2 damage, I think. But obviously once you dungeonize the item, the stats get better, so I want to go check and see how much it increases the items in dungeons, because it's obviously going to be more than like 4 health. It's probably going to be closer to like 20, which is obviously a lot more significant. Okay, so I think we're going to be just like working on hypermaxing my Shadow Assassin leggings, because it's probably statistically the item that is less likely to be replaced instantly. So as you can see, we have 994 and 401. Goes to 1. Okay, so it's gaining like, what is that? Oh, it's gaining 14. Yeah, it's gaining 14 health and about 8 defense. So yeah, honestly, 14, considering you can put 10 on each armor piece, that's 140 times 4 armor pieces. That's like 600 health. 600 health just from hot potato books, that is a pretty decent upgrade. I'm not gonna lie, considering my health right now in dungeons is like 4,000. It is a decent like percentage, And yeah, I mean, it also gives the defense stat, which I'm not really sure how that applies, but it's probably going to be pretty nice as well. So yeah, I'm going to grind up at least a decent amount of enchanted baked potatoes. Probably not enough for the entire setup, because I'm not going to put on my Bonzo mask or on my like chestplate right now. I obviously want to get a Shadow Assassin chestplate. So yeah, I'm going to also add it to the list just to see like, you know, what my upcoming goals are, but I honestly don't mind. And I'm also going to grab the livid fragments here because I've decided that I might as well just upgrade the armor. I might as well make it mythic. So, you know, if we're going to put hot potato books on it, we might as well go the whole way, because I have no idea if I'm ever going to drop this Shadow Assassin chestplate. And in the meanwhile, while I'm running dungeons, I might as well be on my best behavior, because realistically, it's only going to take like an hour to get the fragments back anyway. So once I get myself a Shadow Assassin chestplate, I can just like grind it up again. But yeah, so as you can see, we're gaining like 21 crit damage. I'm not sure how much strength. Maybe like a tiny bit of strength. Yeah, around about like 20 strength actually. Honestly, damage-wise, that's very nice. Health-wise, it's about 40, not as good, but honestly, that is definitely worth it. Like, that is 100% a very nice upgrade. So yeah, I mean, not only does it increase the, you know, the rarity so that the the reforge is better, but it also increases the base stats. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It only takes an hour, and it's probably worth it to do, especially if I get a Shadow Assassin chestplate, which is probably about 5 hours of work. So in terms of the armor itself, it is pretty insignificant in time. Okay, so I'm trying to grind up for the adaptive belt, and the issue here is you have to be doing an S, like you have to get the obsidian chest, which comes from doing an S run. Now, I was planning on just like running it myself, because there's literally 0 parties doing floor 2, but unfortunately that's not going to work, because I don't really feel like doing all the secrets by myself. So yeah, I'm going to have to wait around for a floor 2 party to appear, but there's still a bunch of other items. Like, the parties aren't horrible, it's just like they aren't great. Like, they aren't going to be running like 2-minute runs. So yeah, it's just not worth it for me. Hopefully I can find like a M2. Okay, Catacombs 32 for M2 is kind of crazy, and the fact that it's almost full is also insane. But yeah, eventually I'm going to find an M2 party, or maybe someone doing collection runs for floor 2, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's just going to be something about finding the right party at the right time, and I'm definitely not short on things to do at a higher efficiency, so I can definitely do them instead. Okay, so if you're wondering why I'm in the duels lobby and why I do not have a hat on my head, the reasoning is pretty obvious when you look at everybody around me. I currently have about 15 billion ping. I'm going to be blaming this on the server, because I am completely fine in Discord, completely fine on YouTube. It is just singularly me in this lobby. So yeah, we're going to be going over the things that are happening in this episode, and the things that have happened and all that, just kind of in this lobby. So usually behind me would be the wall of progress, but unfortunately we can't do that. I would be adding the hot potato books, unfortunately I can't do that, but yeah, as we saw, the hot potato books were great. I mean, they increase my health and defense by a ton, and I'm sure that they're going to increase the damage of my hypercleaver to a good amount where I can like one-tap the fells, because they're really the only mob that has like a high amount of damage against me. Now, I obviously want to get the Spirit Shortbow to try and deal damage to things that are far away, so I can, you know, prevent my amount of deaths, and I do still want to try and get the Spirit Pet. I'm not sure if it's expired or not, and if it hasn't, then I might try and get it, but 5 million coins is a lot of money, so maybe I'm going to leave it. I'm not really sure just yet. But yeah, so obviously I can also be increasing the way I run dungeons. Now, the reasoning for this is sorry for that. I'm getting a little bit sick from just like talking so much. It is causing a little bit of negative effects on me, but completely fine, because I do enjoy making the videos, and I think right now I'm probably making the most Skyblock content out of any YouTuber. So yeah, I mean, I'm happy, you know, as long as the mentality I have in life is, if I'm working 24/7 as hard as I can, or as much as I can, as hard as I can, then nobody can be working harder than I am, and nobody can be like as successful as I am. So that is the kind of thing I'm putting into my videos right now. So I hope you guys appreciate that, but I appreciate all the support anyway. So yeah, as I was saying, I can probably increase the way I run dungeons, and the reasoning for that is, currently I kind of just run into the room like head first, instead of using the, you know, ability of the Berserker, which gives you extra range and should probably mean that I die to mobs less often, and I can use a little bit more movement. So the idea I want to do is work on trying to like clear more methodically. Like, pretend I'm like a SWAT team trying to clear like a room. I'm gonna like run in there, you know, try and isolate 1v1s and that kind of thing, instead of, as you saw in the floor 7 run that I did, I ended up dying because I just got smacked by like 15 like skeleton masters and like 3 crypt lurkers and a bunch of like crypt undeads and whatever they're called, but it was just a bunch of mobs doing a small amount of damage at once, and that's probably what's more likely to kill me, because damage wise I can basically lifesteal more damage than any mob can do in the entire game. So yeah, that thing's happened. Obviously I didn't get the tiger pet, we're still waiting for that, so either we're gonna get it from the upcoming traveling zoos, or we can just grind out for a wither skeleton pet. I don't think it's that hard. Coal is one of the most abundant resources in the entire Crystal Hollows, and if I can get myself a Pico Nimbus again, then it's going to be instant mining the coal and everything's going to be very, very smooth. Now obviously it's still a lot of grinds to do. Got to get hot potato books, got to get the spirit bow, got to get the armor, got to star my armor, and then once I get into floor 7, well then I get wither armor, and then I have to upgrade the wither armor doing frag runs and all that kind of thing. So the grind is never going to stop. There is a very big plan for tomorrow to obviously get a lot of work done, and I mean, hopefully you guys can be there for that episode. So hope you guys have enjoyed. Probably a bit dysfunctional of an episode, but I'm trying my best considering I did not have a lot of time to record this video. So without further ado, hope you guys like, subscribe. On the screen right now are 2 videos, and yeah, bye. See you guys next time.